What's good, cuz? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm bringing you all another fantasy football video. For week 1, we have 5 must-start running backs for your fantasy leagues in week 1. I did a full video for start and sit running backs a couple of days ago on my YouTube, so there will not be every single running back in this video from every single matchup. If you want that, go check out my start sit video. But 5 must-start running backs, who are they going to be? Comment down below, make your predictions. But if you're excited for this one, do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you were new. I would greatly appreciate it. We're on the road to 5K. Help me get there. It's completely free. But without further ado, I hope you'll enjoy the video, and let's get it.
Minika, watch me on Twitch, ooh, I'm streaming. I'm on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, red button beaming. Let's get that sub count, take over YouTube, ooh, we teaming. My content so high, ooh, yeah, I'm steaming. Ooh, yeah, I'm steaming. Red button beaming.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we are talking 5 must-start running backs for week 1 of the 2021 fantasy football season. Now, if you're looking for a full start and sit video, that was on my YouTube a couple days ago for every single matchup. So if a running back that you're looking for today is not in this video, that does not mean I don't like him this week. I may have that running back as a start for the week, or I could have them as a sit. So make sure to go check out my start sit video for every single game. Also for this video, I didn't want to go with the obvious choices, so you're not going to be seeing like Christian McCaffrey, DALVIN Cook, ALVIN Kamara on these type of videos. We went with people that were taken later on in the draft. And the first guy we're going to start off with this week is James Robinson. Now, the preseason with Travis Etienne being in this running back core with James Robinson and Carlos Hyde, we didn't think James Robinson would be that good this year that he was last year because he was getting all the workload last year. He was an absolute beast, a league winner for you if you took him late in drafts last year. But now with Travis Etienne injured, he still has Carlos Hyde behind him. But for week 1, they are playing the Houston Texans. Now, the Houston Texans last year were one of the worst run defenses in the league. And did they get better in the offseason? Absolutely not. The Houston Texans only got worse since last season. So I think James Robinson is due for a big day. Hopefully they give him a decent amount of the snap share because I expect him to get out to a comfortable lead. Even though the Jags are not the best team in the world, I think they're way better than the Texans. So I'm hoping James Robinson gets a lot of points early on in the game because we don't know what's going to happen later on in the game if the Jags are up by a couple scores. They might want to rest some guys so they don't risk injury to some of their starters early on in the year for no reason if they're winning this game comfortably. So I'm expecting James Robinson to have a big start to the day. High touchdown upside against a bad Houston Texans team. Trevor Lawrence, James Robinson, hopefully they get a connection in the passing game a little bit. He saw about 80% of the snaps last year in a bunch of games. So I'm hoping he sees at least 70% of the snaps for this game. Carlos Hyde, we'll have to see how much they're going to implement him. I assume Carlos Hyde is going to get a fair amount of snaps. I project at least 30 to 35% for Carlos Hyde. But James Robinson, they are playing the Texans. You start players against the Texans. High touchdown upside for Robinson, and he can catch some passes. The next guy we're going to talk about is Raheem the Dream Mostert. Now, I know Raheem Mostert and the 49ers, they don't give a ton of snaps to just one specific running back. They tend to use a lot of running backs. So between Raheem Mostert and Trey Sermon, I expect them both to have good days. But the reason I'm starting Raheem Mostert is because they're playing the Detroit Lions. And Jared Goff, when he was on the Rams with a way better roster, played horrible against the 49ers. He could not deal with the 49ers pass rush. So I expect the 49ers, once again, kind of like the Jaguars, to get out to a very comfortable lead against the Detroit Lions. And then they're going to take the ball out of Jimmy G's hands. They don't want Jimmy G passing when the 49ers have a comfortable lead. They're just going to keep running the ball. And I expect Raheem Mostert to get a decent amount of those rush attempts, maybe catch some passes as well, maybe even break one of his signature long touchdown runs. That would be amazing. I also expect Trey Sermon to have a good game this week as well. If they do get a very, very large lead, I could see them putting the rookie in there and seeing what he can do. So I think Mostert is going to have the better game of the two between Mostert and Sermon. But if you have Sermon and you don't have Mostert on your team and you're looking for a flex play, I don't blame you if you go with Trey Sermon. I expect them both to have solid games. The Lions are bad, the Texans are bad, and you start those players against those teams. Next, we're going to talk about Gus Edwards, and Gus Edwards is due for a great week 1 against the Las Vegas Raiders. It's actually crazy. I went to the same high school at the same time Gus Edwards was there, so that is amazing. And now he's the #1 running back for the Baltimore Ravens, at least for this week. We will have to see what happens, but I think he should still be the #1 running back for the Baltimore Ravens with no J.K. Dobbins and now no Justice Hill. We know they signed Le'Veon Bell last night, but I don't think Le'Veon Bell is going to have much of an impact for at least week 1. So I think Gus Edwards is going to be a must-start running back for you if you do have him on your roster for at least week 1. 1. As for Tyson Williams and Le'Veon Bell, we know they're going to have their part in this offense, but we don't know what it's going to be yet. But for Gus Edwards, I can't really use last year as a reference here because he did not play a lot last year. He had a decent amount of snaps, but the most he really had in a week was 51. Other than that, it's mostly in the 40s because they had Dobbins and they had Mark Ingram, but now he's the number 1. So can we expect him to get 60% of the snap share in this game? I think he is going to get it, and I think he has very, very high upside. The worst case scenario is that Gus Edwards does all the work throughout the drive, gets the Ravens down to the goal line, and then we have Lamar Jackson coming out here and vulturing the touchdowns from Gus Edwards. We don't want that to happen. We want Gus Edwards to get into the end zone because those are going to be big points. If he does not get those touchdowns, if he does not leave this game with at least 1 touchdown, I could see him giving you single-digit fantasy points. Unfortunately, the touchdowns is really where he's going to make his money. The number 1 rushing attack in the league last year was the Baltimore Ravens, and with Lamar Jackson and Gus Edwards, I still think they could be the number 1 rushing attack this year. The Raiders are also terrible defensively. The Ravens should have a positive game script, so I expect a lot of rushes for Gus Edwards in this game. Before I talk about the next must-start running back in fantasy this week, if you guys are enjoying the video and you're finding it useful, for more fantasy football content, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. We're on the road to 5,000 subscribers. I want to hit it in a couple weeks. If you guys can hit that subscribe button, I would greatly appreciate it. It is completely free, but the next running back we're going to talk about here is Kareem Hunt. Now, Kareem Hunt is not the number 1 running back on his team. I'm not claiming that right now. Everybody knows Nick Chubb is the alpha running back for the Cleveland Browns, but for this game against the Kansas City Chiefs, I could see the Browns being in a negative game script, getting behind in this game, and then Kareem Hunt is definitely the better pass catcher between him and Nick Chubb, so I could see Kareem Hunt getting in the game very, very late when they're down, looking to make a comeback, and when they take the ball out of Nick Chubb's hands because they have to mount a comeback here. I think it's a safe bet that Kareem Hunt will catch at least 4 passes in this game, possibly 5 or more. He did it a couple times last year in a game where they're trying to make a comeback, trying to get back into this ball game. Definitely think they're going to prefer Kareem Hunt late in the ball game, like probably the 3rd or 4th quarter, over Nick Chubb when they're down in this game. If the Browns happen to be leading over the Kansas City Chiefs, then Kareem Hunt could still get some touches. He still saw about 40 to 50% of the snaps, depending on the game last year, with Nick Chubb still in the lineup, so he could still get in the end zone, still catch some passes, even if the Browns are leading. And the final running back I believe you must be starting in week 1 is Joe Mixon. Now, I know I said I wouldn't use a lot of round 2, early round 3 running backs, but a lot of people are not sold on Joe Mixon still, but I am not one of them. I do have him on my team here on Sleeper, which is where I'm pulling up the player profile here, but I think he's due for a great week 1. The rest of the season we'll have to see. Because he is in the AFC North, normally has to play the Steelers, Ravens, and Browns 2 times each. All have pretty good run defenses. That's why, in my opinion, I think some people think he's bad, but when he gets to go up against a team like the Minnesota Vikings that don't have a great run defense, he's due for a good game. And also in the offseason, a very underrated move that boosts Joe Mixon's fantasy value is the fact that Gio Bernard goes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Gio Bernard stole a lot of 3rd down work and passing work from Joe Mixon last year, and that's not going to be the case this time. Joe Mixon might catch a lot of footballs this year and started off in week 1. He was only averaging about 4 targets and 4 receptions a game when Gio Bernard was there. Can we bump that up to 6 targets and 6 receptions, 7 targets and 7 receptions? We will have to see, but I also expect this to be a very high-scoring game with the Minnesota Vikings. Both teams are going to air the ball out. I think there's high touchdown upside for Joe Mixon this week. Really, really like him. So if you're hesitant to start Joe Mixon because of previous years, don't be. Start him this week. Okay, everyone, that's going to do it for the video today. 5 must-start running backs in fantasy football for week 1. Did you agree or disagree with my must-starts? Let me know in the comments down below. Once again, these were my opinions, so I might not be 100% correct. But if you did enjoy the video, though, and you found it useful, do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you are new. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, if you would like to, you want to ask me some fantasy football questions, you can do so in the comments, or you can do so at my social links, which are on the screen for you all right now, including my Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Twitch, stuff like that. But that's it for me today, everyone. I will see you all in the next video. Have a great rest of your day. Peace out.